guys already know this is the main one tapping in all the way from H-Town, Houston, Texas. I'm here with my boy T.A.G.
T.A.G. T.A.G, very nice, very evil.
Yeah, that's T.A.G shit.
The only thing we're gonna do is take over, baby.
Free fall as I dive through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine.
What up, T.A.G Nation? It's the disembodied voice of ScooterRay here with another episode of NXT.A.G, aka this is what y'all really doing on the last Tuesday of Black History Month? Like, this is what's really good? All right, well, let's talk about it. The show opens up with Dark States, Osiris, and Saquon taking on Vanity Projects, Brad Baylor, and Ricky Smokes. Now, the only reason I'm not mad at the outcome of this match 100% is because Tony D promised he was going to take everything from Dark State. But did it have to be these two? Did it have to be these? Look at the New Age Mean Street Posse. And if you don't know who Mean Street Posse is, do your Googles, and you're probably too young to be listening. Look at them two. Look at Brad and Ricky. Ricky and Brad, formerly known as Swipe Right. Did it have to be these two? But during the match, of course, shenanigans happened. Jackson Drake did cause some interference, which led Dion and Cutler to start getting mixed in with Jackson. Then with all the kerfuffle, of course, the referee had to leave the ring, which caused Tony D to beat up Saquon, which caused Brad to get the pin on Saquon, which means, like I said, we have new tag champions and the Vanity Project. So yes, the Vanity Project holds the NXT tag titles and the Evolve men's title. We get a segment from Miles Bourne because Miles Bourne is taking on Ethan Page for the North American Championship on the main event of this show. Next up, we get a matchup between Keanu Carver and Sean Legacy. Now, thank goodness they stuck with the way they've been doing Keanu, because Keanu pretty much kind of dog walked Sean. Yeah, Sean fought back. Sean, it wasn't completely a squash, but it was a high functioning squash match. They tried to let Sean get some offense in, but overall, Keanu did get the dub. And I was like, okay, at least there's one. At least there's one. We get a segment with the Ren QCC, and pretty much Ren Sinclair is going to be in the women's speed tournament. And she was saying how she needs to watch the match. Kendall was saying she needs to watch the match between Thea and Blake, because her match with I forgot who Ren was supposed to take on in her speed tournament match, because they said it, then they even showed the graphic. But they was like, her match is next week and she needs to pay attention. And in the process of that, Kalani comes in and was, Kalani's been Kalani. She's been popping her shit, talking her shit. And then Lola just come in and like boot her in the chest. And then it was like a small little scuffle. And then, pretty much separation. But yeah, she got booted smooth in the chest. And it was like, damn. But yeah. Then we get to our speed championship match. Jasper Troy is defending against Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight. Now, Robert Stone made this a triple threat, considering how the match ended in a no contest because the time limit drew. And then he was like, well, I'm going to make it a triple threat. And instead of 5 minutes, I'm going to do 7. Maybe because I'm not fully familiar. And if it's one of those things where I honestly need to do some Googles and do some research and watch some old things, but I'm not necessarily seeing what's making Elio. Maybe he done some pretty impressive things in AAA. Maybe he done some pretty impressive things when he was in Europe, but I'm not seeing what's making, Elio. But with about a little bit less than 2 minutes, Elio steals the victory from Eli Knight, pins Jasper Troy, and new speed champion Elio LaFleur. Like I said, this what we doing. This is what we doing on Black History Month. Okay. Saints and Paige was back there talking. They're starting to be a little more chummy, buddy. They still kind of take their little subtle shots at each other, but for the most part, they're more chummy than they used to be. Especially since, remember, at one point they did beef over the North American Championship and things like that. So, actually, no, was it the North American Championship. So, there is that. Next up, we have pretty much Joe Hendry had a few segments throughout the night, which was pretty much kind of chronologizing his rise from where he was in the Indies, making it to TNA, being champion there, getting the NXT, now become champion. He pretty much had like 2 different parts, and it was shown throughout the night. Then we had a Damian Priest where I guess they want to highlight former NXT peeps. So Damian Priest had this segment where they was pretty much showing how Damian Priest was a little bit in the Indies, his time in NXT, and of course, pretty much kind of where he's standing today kind of situation. So there you go. Next up, we had Dark State, of course, being pissed off at the fact that they lost the tag team titles. And while they was doing that, Lola kind of interrupts them and was like, man, nobody want to hear all that. And pretty much Lola goes to Robert Stone and was like, hey, I want a match against Kalani. And I don't want any match. I want Underground. So Lola, Kalani, NXT Underground at Vengeance Day. Then we get to our, what is this? 3rd championship of the night. For the NXT Women's Championship, I just realized this is WWE's official graphic. And they put NXT Women's Championship. Women's Championship. This is officially WWE's graphic. Same mine. But for the NXT Women's Championship, JC Jane is taking on Sol Ruka. Now, JC, of course, has Fatal Influence. Sol has Zarya. And before the bell could ring, Zarya beats the shit out of Sol. She spears her, hits her with the F5, and she gets out the ring. And, Sol is kind of staggering. And they was like, can you continue? Because technically, the bell hasn't rung. Can you continue? She says yes. They rang the bell. And then bow. Rolling encore. 1, 2, 3. JC retains. Then Zarya pulls Sol out, slams her on the announce table, and pretty much is like, it ain't about you, bitch. And so, yeah, most likely we're going to get some form of a match between them two at Vengeance Day. Just not yet, but it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen at Vengeance Day. It's going to happen. Then Tatum Paxley is in the ring and she's addressing the NXT universe. And pretty much she's saying that, when it comes to Izzy and that Women's North American Championship, I'm going to take that belt up off of her come Vengeance Day. So yeah, come Vengeance Day, you're gonna get these two ladies, and I kind of want them to have some form of a stipulation match, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a regular match. And to be fair and to be honest, I have nothing necessarily against Izzy Dane, but her as Women's North American Champion, go ahead and give it to Tatum and let's be done. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and give it to Tatum and let's be done. But that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Then we get Blake and Thea for their speed tournament match. It started off, because remember this, the normal speed tournament matches are 3 minutes and the championship matches are 5, except for the exception of the triple threat. Thea, Blake was taking over until there was a moment where Thea got Blake on the outside. The ref was distracted. Out of nowhere, Jada Parker hits the hypnotic on Blake Monroe, threw her back in the ring. Thea with the roll up. Thea wins. Simple and plain. Simple and plain. Then we get to our next match. We got Birthright's Uriah Connors taking on Chase Hughes, KO Dixon. And let's face it, y'all. We knew how this match was going to go. I mean, they're trying to establish Birthright. And by the way, if you listen to the pod about a few episodes ago, I've been calling them Birthright before they was officially named Birthright. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying. But Uriah gets the dub. I mean, like I said, they're trying to build the staple. And Charlie Dempsey is still on the whole will he, won't he join Birthright type of deal. So, yeah. Then we get Vanity Project pretty much trying to tell, Vanity Project earlier was with Ethan Page and pretty much basically saying that they was going to ensure Ethan retaining. They was going to make sure Ethan retains so that way, they boy can have still have the North American Championship. Well, later they were all, dressed up. Well, not dressed up, but they were in street clothes and ready to go out and party and celebrate and pretty much saying, yeah, we got to make sure Ethan retains. And, they was talking with Saints and Saints was like, well, next week, since Joe Hendry likes to do his thing, we're going to have the Ricky Saints experience come next week. So he was like, I got to go to the stage and practice. So he disappears. And then Hank Tank and Shiloh comes up smelling like, how did Trick Willie say it? Smelling like 10 pounds of bounce that ass, according to the Vanity Project. And apparently, from the way it was making it sound, Hank Tank and Shiloh took apart Vanity Project's car. And they got into a scuffle backstage. Then that leads to our main event. Ethan Page with a damaged ankle, thanks to Miles Bourne, taking on Miles Bourne for the North American Championship. Good back and forth match. To be fair, I'm actually surprised they didn't want to save this for Vengeance Day. Because considering Vengeance Day is in 2 weeks, I'm actually surprised they didn't want to save this match for Vengeance Day. Granted, I know we're getting Tatum and Izzy for the Women's North American title. I know we're getting Lola and Kalani underground match. I know we're getting Saints versus Hendry for the for the NXT championship. I'm actually shocked they didn't went on ahead and save this for Vengeance Day as well. But it was a good back and forth. Eventually, Vanity Project did come out. Jackson hits Miles with the belt, but it couldn't keep Miles down. Hank Tank and Shiloh come out. Boom, 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 boom. Saints tried to come. So when Saints came out, he was undoing the top turnbuckle, but Hendry comes out and stops Saints. So the top turnbuckle in that corner was exposed, but the ref didn't pay attention to see it. Page tried to go for the Ego's Edge. Miles blocked it. Then he tried to go for the Twisted Grin. He blocked it, but he pushed Page into that exposed turnbuckle. Born again, 1, 2, 3, and new men's North American champion. That boy Miles Born. Matter of fact, don't get once again something that I called months ago that I'm actually shocked it took this long. And the main reason why I'm shocked that it took this long, maybe because they were still trying to work this whole padding, Ethan Page's record and padding Ethan Page's reign, because if he would have beat Miles, then he would have went on to become the longest running North American champion. And to be fair, right, they should have gave it to him, because he has been holding down that championship, just like when he was holding down that championship in the AAA mixed tag championship. I think they should have gave Ethan Page the honor of being longest reigning North American champion. That's just my opinion. But yeah, we have new tag team champions in the Vanity Project. We have a new speed champion with Elio LaFleur. JC Jane retains. And we have a new men's North American champion in Miles Born. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was NXT this week. I'm not necessarily feeling how, the black folks just got defeated like that in between Dark State, Troy, and Knight, and Sol Ruka, that it was just like, push. Because, to be fair, Jasper Troy could have kept that speed championship. Zarya and Sol was on the collision course of breaking up forever, because I feel like they should have broke up months ago, if we really being fair. They drugged that breakout a little too long. And then, even then, Robert Stone announced that next week we're going to get Zarya taking on JC, because Zarya did kind of charge up JC like, hey, you owe me a title shot in essence since I helped you. And she was like, that bell rung, I won the match. But Robert Stone did announce that Zarya is going to take on JC. And watch, just for Soul to come out there, interfere in that, which is definitely going to cause the match for them to have at Vengeance Day. But like I said, it is what it is. But thank y'all for tuning in, Tag Nation. And whether you loved it or hated it, don't forget to rate it thumbs up, thumbs down, like, share, comment down below. Let us know what you thought about NXT.A.G tonight. After you do all of that, if you haven't, tag that subscribe button, then tag that notification bell so you can be notified for all the goodness that gets posted on this channel. Shout outs to the Tag Bros, Lip Dizzle, Jaeger Bombastic, The Juggernaut Show, and Kicking It with Leo. And, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And remember, love one another, love yourself, take care of one another, and take care of yourself. And until next time, you beautiful, beautiful people out there, don't forget to tag out. Peace.
Free fall as I dive through the kaleidoscope in my mind. No rope up to climb. Gotta remind myself that I'm fine. Mama.